No, I am not talking about my fellow Toastmaster. I'm talking about you, our distinguished guest. I welcome a new and to our returning guest. We really are so thrilled to have you with us today, and your presence will truly makes our meeting extra special. And since you're here, we'd love to get to know you better. So, in just a moment, a member of our leadership team will post a link of our guest book. Oh, I see that it's posted so fast. Thank you for that, Renan. Guest, when you see that link pop up, please click it and register your presence. Tell us a bit about yourself and how can we support you in your leadership journey. And don't worry, we'll definitely connect with you at the end of our meeting. So right now, let's come back to our theme. Can you say it with me again? Leading from the edge. So I want to ask you a quick question. When was the last time you felt a little uncomfortable? You know, that kind of discomfort that tells you, oh, I feel it, but I'm growing here. Because let's face this, real growth really doesn't just happen when we wrap up in something familiar. It happens when we stretch, when we step outside of our comfort zone, when we dare to lead from the edge. So see, many people think that leadership is about playing it safe, you know, sticking to what's familiar, avoiding mistakes, staying to that warm, cozy comfort zones where everything is predictable. But let me tell you a little secret. Comfort is where growth goes to sleep. Real leaders don't grow roots in safety, they grow their wings to the edge. And because the edge is not a cliff, it is a launch pad. And in that exciting space, we have the courage to meet the uncertainty. We have bold ideas to take shape. And in that place, we realize that we're capable far more than we ever imagined. And so today, as we explore the theme together, I invite you to reflect on three things. First, how can you lead when things feel uncertain? Second, how can you stay grounded when challenges strike without warning? And finally, how will you inspire others to step forward with you, even when the path ahead isn't clear? If you remember just one thing from today's meeting, let it be this. Comfort is where we rest. The edge is where we rise. And here at Leadership Speak, that's exactly what we do. We don't train leaders for comfort, we train them for challenge. We create a space where discomfort isn't something to fear, it's something that fuels us. Where judgment isn't a failure, it's about growth, and where resilience isn't just a word, it's a muscle we build every time we show up. And that's what today is all about. So whether you're speaking, evaluating, or just listening today, remember, this is your chance to step just a little bit closer to your edge. And who knows, you might just discover the wings you didn't know you had. So, all right. With that, let's warm up and dive up to our agenda. But before that, I want to hear from our before we hear from our speakers, let's meet some of our role players. First up, I want to call on to someone whose positivity is really contagious, as you can see with this smile, and this man really lights up the meeting whenever he attends. I'd like to call the toast of our meeting, Buhari Zayyad. Buhari?
Hello,
Hello, Buhari. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you. Happy to share that. Over to you, Buhari.
Thank you. We gathered Today, not just as speakers, but as self-directed leaders who understands that growth happens at the edge. Our theme for today's meeting, leading from the edge, leadership speak, is a call to step into that space where growth truly begins. The edge is never comfortable. It is the line between doubt and determination, between hesitation and boldness, between speaking for practice and speaking with purpose. It is at this edge where leaders are made and where voices carry the power to influence, carry the power to inspire, and carry the power to ignite change. Now, this is the heartbeat of Leadership Speak. We are more than a club. We are a training ground where words are refined into wisdom, where leadership is not only spoken about, but it is lived out with conviction and purpose. Here, we dare to challenge, we dare to encourage, and to lead not from behind, not from the center, but from the edge. So let us lift our glasses in this meeting, dear Toastmasters and guests. Turn on your videos, unmute your mics, and raise your glass. Let's toast to leading from the edge. To leading from the edge, Toastmasters.
Leading from the edge.
Leading from the edge. The edge.
Thank you. And back to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Rahari, for raising the toast. Indeed, we gather not just as speakers, but also as self-directed leaders. And the edge is never comfortable, but it always carries the power that ignite change. So moving on to the other distinguished roles of this meeting. The person who's keeping us all on time today is a proud Toastmaster since 2021 from the Galido. And for him, our theme means learning to embrace change and staying focused on our goals. I would like to call on our timer, Arona Sel. Arona?
Good day, fellow Toastmaster. I'm your timer for today's meeting. I will time each speaker according to the agenda and using and senior using visual background colors. Green, yellow, and red. And after each segment, I will post the timing results in the chat. Thank you, and back to you, dear Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Arona. Next, we have someone who's going to sprinkle a little magic into our words today. Because her role is to introduce our word of the day and to keep an ear for how beautifully or creatively we use our language all throughout the meeting. But wait, that's not all. She's also taking an extra special mission tonight as our flag police. And yes, you heard that right. So make sure you have the right flags standing tall in front of you. Please join me in welcoming our brilliant commander. Hannah Schmidt. Hi, Hannah. Over to you.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, as a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of the misuse of the English language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, and thoughts. And also, as a grammarian, it is my duty to introduce to you the word of the day. And for the day, the word is trailblazer. It is a noun, and it means someone who leads the way from the edge also. Someone who does not stay in their comfort zone. As an example of the word in the sentence, true leaders are trailblazers, inspiring others to come after. And each speaker, evaluator, whoever, is encouraged to use the word of the day. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Hannah. You're really a real trailblazer, and we really look forward to your report later. To our amazing guest, I'm calling you out again. How are you feeling so far? Are you warming up nicely? Just a quick timing check. Have you had a chance to fill our guest book? If not, no worries, we've got you covered. Rajan is on the ball as always. He has already posted the link on the chat. So if you haven't filled out yet, go ahead, click that link. We'd love to know a little more about you and stay connected beyond today's meeting. Thank you, Rajan. And thank you, guest, for being here and making today's session extra special. All right. So everyone, it's time to shift a bit on our gears and step boldly into the educational part of our meeting. And trust me, you're really here for a treat because our next speaker is someone who truly walks the talk when it comes to leading from the edge. I want to call on the podium Aswathi Rajan.
Thank you, Nelly.
Aswathi will be...
Yeah, sorry. Yes, Nelly, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Aswathi, for that. Aswathi will be evaluated by an engineer and a proud Toastmaster since 2007. I want to add to the spotlight Muhammad Azimuddin. Muhammad, can you tell us more about Aswathi's project today?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. I was forgotten, but in the meantime, I came in the picture. Thank you very much. So today is the first leadership speak, and the speaker is Aswathi Rajan. And she is going to speak from strategic relationship, prepared to speak professionally. And the objective is to exemplify a professional level speaker's point of view and message, and a style that support the speech content. And her topic today is footprints that matter, leading with purpose and impact, speaking professionally. Good luck to Aswathi Rajan. Over to you.
Thank you, Muhammad. Aswathi and I collaborated and came up with that theme. And through today's keynote, she will share to us some of those instances where she followed edge leadership. And for her, leading from the edge means taking the risk, embracing challenges, and stretching beyond the familiar. So from being a scientist to becoming the school principal and now as the educational coach, she has constantly reinvented herself, daring to explore new frontiers. So today, she's bringing with us a keynote speech. I will call again Aswathi Rajan, Footprints That Matter, Leading with Purpose and Impact. Footprints That Matter, Leading with Purpose and Impact, Aswathi Rajan.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nelly. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, when was the last time you did something that truly scared you? Not something dangerous, but something that made your heart race, your palms sweat, and your mind scream, "This is beyond me!" That moment is the edge. And the edge is where true growth begins. Today, I invite you to explore what happens when leaders, when we, the trailblazers, dare to step beyond the familiar. That edge that appears when we move away from what feels familiar. But what is familiar? Yes, it is the comfort zone. You heard our Toastmaster of the day, Nelly, speaking about it. But I think comfort zone is a trap. Yes, my dear friends. Comfort zone is that space in life where everything feels predictable. You know what's coming. There are no surprises. It's safe. You are taking no risks. So there's little chance of failure. It's a routine. You are doing the same things the same way again and again and again, day after day. So, comfort zone is a real trap. I know it feels good, but it also means you are not stretching yourself. You're not exploring. You're not growing. You know, as human beings, we all love comfort. We we love it more than anything else. Think about it. We have comfortable chairs, comfortable routines, comfortable conversations, and even comfortable comfort food. Why? Because comfort feels safe. Nothing surprises us there. But here's the trap. While comfort protects us, it also limits us. As a zoologist, I have observed something fascinating in nature. No species ever evolve by staying comfortable. The butterfly doesn't remain a butterfly by staying inside the cocoon. In fact, the struggle of breaking through the cocoon is what makes its wings strong enough to fly. Without that discomfort, the butterfly would never take off. Now, I want all of you to think of your own cocoon. Maybe it's your job, you know it inside out. Maybe it's your leadership style that you have always followed. Or maybe it's even the way you have been living your daily life. It feels easy. But here's the truth. Comfort zones don't expand by themselves. We expand them only when we step outside. I have experienced this myself. For years, I was deeply immersed in the world of science. I had what many would call a successful career as a scientist. It was safe, it was respected, and it was comfortable. Yet deep down, I knew I wasn't meant for this. I wanted to do something else. And that calling led me to start my venture, Success e-learning. Leaving behind comfort to follow my passion, that drive to change how teachers teach and students learn was so deeply engraved in me that I wanted to do that. And you know what? At first, it was terrifying. There were doubts, there were questions, there were sleepless nights. But here's the truth. When I stayed in my comfort zone, nothing really happened. And I was busy, but I wasn't growing. The real growth began when I stepped out of my comfort zone into the unknown, outside the safety net, and embraced the edge. I realized that the comfort zone is where we survive, but the edge is the place where we thrive. So if growth truly happens at the edge, the question is, how do we lead from the edge? So let me explain you through a very famous growth zone model. Now, the growth zone model was developed by L.S. Dyer White in 2009. He's a British management theorist, writer, and lecturer. And this model is based on how humans respond to challenges and pressure. It allows that our personal and professional development depends on stepping outside the comfort zone. And it shows that with explanation. But he divided our growth zone model into 4 different zones. The first one, the comfort zone. This is where the life feels safe, predictable, and routine, as I mentioned earlier. We don't feel threatened, but we also don't grow much here. For example, imagine a Toastmaster who keeps giving only the icebreaker kind of speeches. He's not attempting or he's not confident enough to go beyond the short stories or icebreakers. He's never trying to attempt evaluation or even participate in any contest. That is his comfort zone because he feels safe. He doesn't want to take risk. But when you go out of that comfort zone, then comes the fear zone. The moment you step out, the fear kicks. And you have self-doubt, you have excuses, you rely on others' opinions. Many people, they go back to the comfort zone from this place. Imagine a member saying, I can't be an area director because I don't have enough experience and I can't do it, and steps back. I have seen that happen many times. But when you stay there, you hold on. Then you go to the next zone, which is the learning zone. The learning zone is a place where if you stay with that discomfort, you acquire new skills, new knowledge, and become more resilient. Mistakes happen, of course, but each one expands your own capacity. Taking up that leadership role in Toastmasters, which you refused to, struggling at first, but slowly building confidence and delegation and team building empowers you and makes you a true leader. And when you stay there, learn new things, then comes the growth zone. Here, the transformation happens. You discover purpose, pursue big goals, and inspire others. It's the zone of vision, innovation, and real leadership, where you actually become a trailblazer. Friends, you know about Elon Musk. He's a classic example of a leader who consistently chooses the edge over comfort. In 2008, Tesla was on the brink of bankruptcy, and Musk invested his last $35 million into the company, even borrowing money to pay the rents. Without that edge decision, Tesla would have collapsed. And today, Tesla is valued at over $750 billion and has redefined the automobile industry. Musk himself was named by the Times magazine as one of the most influential leaders of the century. Elon Musk shows that the edge is risky, it's uncomfortable and uncertain. But when leaders, they lean into it, they don't just grow themselves, they shift entire industries, inspire millions, and change the course of history. This model teaches us growth doesn't happen in comfort, nor in chaos, or it happens at the edge where challenges and learning meet away from the chaos. Now, I would like to share 3 powerful principles of leading from the edge that I have discovered in my journey through my experiences. So let's explore them together. So the first principle that I believe strongly in is courage over certainty. True leadership is not about having all the answers. It's about having the courage to step forward even when the path is unclear. When I left my career as a scientist to start Success e-learning, I had no guarantees. I did not know if schools and educators would embrace it. I did not know if I could build a business from scratch. The only thing I had was conviction that the quality of education needed to change, and I could be a small part of the change. That step was pure courage, not certainty. And that's the essence of leadership. It's the same in Toastmasters. Many of us step into leadership roles not because we are ready, but because we are willing to do that. When I first took on a district role as the club grow director, I did not have a 100% roadmap to do it, the tasks. But stepping up gave me the courage to figure out things along the way. So leaders don't always walk into clarity. They walk into uncertainty and bring clarity with every action they do. Now comes the second principle, which is vulnerability builds trust. We have often seen that leaders must be, we always think that leaders must be strong, they must be confident and in control. But I have learned the opposite is true, that vulnerability is what truly builds the trust. I remember during my DTM project that was named Project Wings, I built a team to train 150 children of an orphanage in life skills and soft skills. And there was a moment when I admitted to my team that I did not have all the answers. We had planned modules, but when we faced the children's unique needs, our plans did not fully fit. It was a big challenge in front of me, but I openly said, I accepted that I need your ideas. Let's build this together. And that vulnerability did not weaken me as a leader. It made me the strongest leader, and it made the team stronger. My trainers, my volunteers, and mentors all brought in their creativity, their ideas. And together, we shaped all those sessions that had a far greater impact than what I could have created alone. Students sense this too. I have seen this happening in my classrooms when I go for trainings. When I tell them, I don't know everything, but I learn with you, they open up, they engage, and they rise. So vulnerability creates space for collaboration. It tells people you are trusted, you are valued, you matter. The third principle that I believed in strongly is discomfort fuels innovation. This is the third principle. And in this, if you want new results, you must do what you have never done before. Innovation does not live in comfort, it lives in discomfort. In nature, the mangroves that I study as a scientific advisor of Mangrove Foundation of India, they are powerful examples. These trees don't merely survive in storms, they thrive because of them. The turbulence forces them to anchor deeply, to develop stronger roots, to adapt in ways ordinary trees cannot do. The very discomfort of their environment fuels their resilience. And that is why mangroves are so strong. It's the same for us too. During the pandemic, many of us had remaining the way we worked, taught, and we connected, right? And it was uncomfortable. But out of that discomfort, came the online Toastmasters meeting, virtual learning programs, and some of the ideas I also implemented in the digital training initiatives in my venture. And even our very own leadership speak. Things we once thought impossible became the new normal. Innovation is not born in still waters. It is born in the storm. And just like those mangroves, we grow stronger when we lean into the turbulence instead of resisting it. So now you might be wondering that the idea of the edge sounds very powerful, but how do I actually live it out as a leader? So here, let me turn this question to all of you. I want all of you to reflect for a moment. I request the Zoom master to launch the poll. We have a small poll for all of you. Yes, here it is on your screens. The question is, which of these three principles is your personal edge right now? Courage? Do you need to step into something you have been avoiding? Think of something that you are doing day by day, the same thing, maybe from last 5 years. Vulnerability. Do you need to open up and trust your team more? Or discomfort? Do you need to stretch beyond your routines to innovate? Which of these options or principles you feel is your personal edge right now? Zoom Master, I cannot see the results. Please let me know if everyone has answered. Thank you. I can see that most of you have opted for the third option, discomfort, followed by courage and vulnerability. Thank you. Thank you so much for your response. So now it's wonderful to see all the responses. Now, this is the first step. Now, to make it more practical, so to make it more practical, let me give you a very simple framework to remember that anyone can follow in their leadership journey. And I call it as the edge. So in simple terms, I'll break this word edge, E-D-G-E. So E stands for embracing the discomfort. As Toastmasters, we know this well, right? Think of your first speech, the icebreaker, the very first speech in your Toastmasters journey. For many of us, it was uncomfortable, even terrifying. I still remember my first speech when I was literally shivering, my palms were sweating, and I was just blabbering something, not knowing the impact or the outcome of my speech. But by embracing that discomfort, I discovered my voice. Leaders grow when they lean into such situations that scare them a little, whether it's speaking on a bigger stage, leading a new project, or having that difficult conversation with anyone. Discomfort is not a danger sign, it's a growth sign. When I took up the role of the club growth director, which is basically like a chief marketing officer for the district, I was scared because that was the last thing I ever wanted to do, marketing something, to sell something. And I knew that I lacked that skill. But when I took the responsibility, I decided to step out of my comfort zone. I met new people. I marketed Toastmasters. I told them about the benefits of Toastmasters. I interacted with strangers. And finally, the result was magical. I was able to charter 31 new clubs in my term, and we achieved medley distinguished status for the district. Yes, so that is embracing the discomfort. So don't run from it, lean into it. Now comes D. D is dare to decide. Now, leaders don't wait for clarity, they choose and move. Yes, leadership is not about waiting until everything is clear and perfect. It's about daring to make some decisions even when you don't have all the answers with you. When I stepped into Toastmasters leadership, or later when I started my startup Success e-learning, I did not have every detail with me, but I chose to decide and move forward. There were people who tried to pull me down, who said, how can you do this? How will you do this? Why are you doing this? But then I decided to move forward. And that decision created momentum. Leaders don't wait for certainty, they create it. So dare to decide. Third is G, which stands for grow through failure. Yes, we always hear this. Every setback is training at the edge. Every evaluator tells us there is no failure, only feedback. And that is true leadership wisdom. When you attempt something new, a contest or a project or a bold initiative, you might stumble. It's okay, it's normal. But each stumble sharpens your skills. Each fall becomes training at the edge. The key is not avoiding failure, but learning faster through it. So every setback is training at the edge. So grow through failures. Last is E. E is to empower others. The true meaning of leadership. Leading from the edge means pulling others up with you. And the true mark of leading from the edge is not just stepping forward yourself, always pulling people with you. As mentors, we guide new members, new leaders, and colleagues to find their edges. Sometimes that's giving them the courage to take the stage, to walk onto that edge. Sometimes it's trusting them with responsibility. Sometimes it's delegating work before they feel ready. I have seen it happen again and again in Toastmasters. When we empower others, not only do they grow, but we grow too. So, when was the last time you did something that scared you? Yes, my dear friends, it's time to think about it. When was the last time you did something that scared you? My challenge for you is, before this week ends, step to your edge. Take one bold action outside your comfort zone. My friends, the world doesn't just need more leaders. It needs leaders who leave footprints that matter. So let us step out of the comfort zone, walk to the edge, and lead with purpose and impact. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Aswathi. That was really a great speech. Again, we need to go with the edge. What is the edge again? Embrace the discomfort. Dare to decide, growth or failure, and empower others. And so for that, I want to call on to our guest. May I ask, how do you find the meeting so far? Because shortly in the chat, there will be a link of the guest book that will be posted, and Renan is really so fast in posting that up. And I invite everyone who haven't fill up the Zoom or the guest book yet to sign it up and let us know about your comments and feedback on our meetings. So next up, we have our series of speakers, prepared speeches. And the first speaker who will take us through a door of opportunity is Lydiah Wanjiku. Zoom Master, can we add her to the spotlight, please? And she will be evaluated by Paramjit Singh. Okay, so since Paramjit isn't feeling his best today, he'll be keeping his camera off. But hey, that's just to give us a chance to sharpen our listening skills. So let's just stay tuned closely as Paramjit tells us all about Lydiah's project and speech today.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, Jane. Lydiah is attempting a project from the pathway Engaging Humor, level 3, speech 1. And the purpose statement for this particular project is, the purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance a speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. The time is 5 to 7 minutes. Lydiah, best wishes. May this be a trailblazer speech for others. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Paramjit. Sending you lots of good vibes and speedy recovery. So Lydiah Wanjiku. Lydiah, for her, today's theme reminds us that in life, we encounter so many doors, and the real wisdom lies in knowing which ones to open, which ones to close, and which ones to hold open for someone else. And so with that, please welcome Lydiah Wanjiku, the open door. The open door, Lydiah Wanjiku.
Imagine an open door. When you open this door, you see the sky. It's very blue, and the rays from the sun, they are very clear. It is so consoling. You connect with nature because you opened the door. This happened to me in 2022 during COVID. We were locked in a room, and at some point, I felt now this is the end of my life. But after 14 days, I opened that door and I looked at the sky and the sun rays, and I felt there is life. And that was the door that made me feel good and had hope for future. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, the doors I'm talking about, these are opportunities. In life, there are many doors. And these doors, if you open one doesn't open, look for the other one. Try to open that door. And once it opens, then you will have gotten that opportunities. There was a time I applied for a job. When I applied for a job, I went through the process and I knew very well I was getting that job. And I even prepared my mind and my family. We were all going to Mombasa. And my children were happy because I'd already taken them through the process. So they knew very well, Mom is getting this job and we are going to Mombasa. Shock on them. I got a letter that had regret information. That particular time, the door was closed. It was not interesting. Did I stay there? Morning, depressed? No. What did I do? I looked around. Then, as I said, there are many doors in life. I opened another door. This time I went through the process and the results were positive. This one, again, it was about a job in the same place in Mombasa. When I compared both, this one was even higher. So, the mind of the family, my mind again, since I never got stuck on that closed door, I opened another door and we were able to achieve our dreams. Yes. Therefore, in case you find one door closed, don't hang there. And then mourning, depressing yourself, no. Just look for another door. Fast forward in Toastmasters. My first attempt to go for a meeting in Toastmasters, I was asking myself, do I knock that door? Do I enter or do I stay outside? Then a Toastmaster came and opened the door. I tend to think that lady was going outside, but found me there debating in my head, do I go in or do I go out? She opened the door, welcomed me nicely. I went and I sat, listened to the speeches. After that, I was impressed and I joined. And from there, I've never regretted. What did I do? I introduced other colleagues to come to Toastmasters. That one means that I opened the door for other Toastmasters to join. And that door never ended. I looked again for another door. Which door did I see? This time I happened to see a link for Leadership Speak. Then I joined the meeting. I listened, and this time it was very interesting and very educative. The visitor's book was posted. I quickly completed the visitor's book. After 3 days, I got a call from by then President Bramemo. This time the videos were on and we talked. He was able to open the door for me and I joined Leadership Speak, where I found self-directed leaders who have open doors. You are given an evaluator, you connect. 2 days back, I connected with Toastmaster Paramjit, who took me through the process. He opened the door for me. In life, there are many doors, and those doors are all over. So it's up to you to pick the door you want to open, look at it, open, and if at all it doesn't open, you can even use tools. Which are these tools? Use other networks. You can even use other people to try to open the door for you. What are the 3 key takeaways? Number 1, in life, always remember there are many doors. When one door closes, never give up. Never be depressed. There's another door. Go open another door. And number 2, always remember to open doors for other people. Since someone opened a door for you, always open another door for another person. And that way, we all grow together. I'll leave you with this question. As we end the year, introspect yourself and ask yourself, how many people have you opened the door for? And how many will you open the door before the end of the year? And you become a trailblazer. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you so much, Lydia, for that journey with the different doors of opportunity in your life, outside and inside Toastmaster. Really, there are really lots of doors. When one closes up, there's another door of opportunity. Thank you so much for that. So next, I want to call on our next speaker, Sonja Meindl, and she will be evaluated by Insati Munkatsu. And I know you're going to enjoy this one. Insati, can you tell us something about Sonja's project and speech today?
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmasters. As I will be evaluating the speech of Sonja Meindl, she will be presenting her icebreaker speech in the presentation mastery pathway. And obviously the speech is on level 1 and project 1. The purpose of the project is for Sonja to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of public speaking. The title of her speech is Tune In and Tune Up. It will take a time allocated of 4 to 6 minutes. Sonja has requested me to pay particular attention to the following. I should look at how well she connects with the audience, and she will use that as a measure of her success in how the audience responds to her. And secondly, she has asked me to check particularly how she applies effective public speaking techniques. Back to you, Madam Toastmasters.
Thank you so much, Dati. So here it is. Our next speaker, Sonja, has built a career in sales training and system. And today she's going to share some key moments that shows how being tuned in and tuning up can open doors to create growth and create opportunities for others. So please welcome Sonja Meindl, tuning in and tuning up. Tuning in and tuning up, Sonja Meindl.
All my life, I tuned in to the people around me. As a child, it was a survival skill, and reading the moods of unpredictable adults was necessary to protect from harm. As an adult in my professional life, this same skill became my superpower, my secret weapon in sales, training, simplifying systems, and my stepping stone to tune up my career. At 20 years, I started working at FTE Touristic in Munich, realizing early on that my colleagues performed many of the same tasks in different ways. It was inefficient, confusing, and stressful for everyone. But that was my opportunity, and I was on a mission to find the correct process. With no personal computer back then, I created a 30-page draft manual by hand, and with the biggest smile presented it to my supervisor. After some discussions and corrections, it was approved and good to go. Oh, I was so proud and excited to start my new and elevated assignment, train my colleagues one by one to ensure consistency, alignment, and quality assurance. Fast forward, after arriving to Toronto, I first worked at Starbucks at the TD Tower. Eager to learn everything I could, I wasn't just reading our merchandise sheets. I studied everything about our products I could find online. And like a spy, I was watching our customers, stressed out and tense senior leaders, finding relief with their third doppio espresso at 1 o'clock. Then one day, an obviously high-positioned woman with a toned body walked in. Oh yeah, I knew exactly what she was looking for. A beverage that would improve her performance, increase her metabolism, and a light meal that will make her day go smooth. And I offered her the perfect choice. Our cool lime refresher made of green coffee beans and with a whole grain, stress-free egg white wrap. Ambitiously, I stepped up to teach my fellow Starbucks partners about upselling and customer care. When the new fall drink launched, our store ranked #1 in all of Ontario. Later, I worked as a performance and compliance manager at Carillion, tasked with implementing a project management software across 10 departments. I began by observing and understanding each department's unique challenges and tailored the software workflow to their requirements. After facing significant resistance, I focused on demonstrating the wins which matters the most to them. Saving time, reducing costs, and boosting morale. And once they saw the value, objection turned into enthusiasm. And I began training everyone, from department head to staff member. And I became their trusted go-to for process improvement. Looking back, I recognize the same strategy I have been applying throughout to reach my professional goal of becoming a successful sales trainer, simplifying systems and also empowering other people. I learned that when we tune in to the people around us, we gain important insights into their challenges and priorities, which then allows us to tune up and create solutions and provide real value. In doing so, opportunities arise, doors open, and success follows. Instead of chasing goals, grow until your goals are chasing you. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Sonja. Really, the strategy to become successful is really you need to simplify your systems and empower others. You need to tune into the people around you to regain insights from the situation. And in doing that, you will be able to tune up. Thank you so much for that wonderful insight. So now we'll go about updates. And because of that, I want to call on our next speaker. And the next speaker is Phibian Joseph. He will be evaluated by Brunel Kantigosh. Hello, Brunel.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nelly.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, Phibian will deliver his speech from Dynamic Leadership, Level 1, Project 2. Write a speech with purpose. Deliver an effective, well-defined speech on a narrow enough topic. And I'll be evaluating Phibian based on international speech evaluation concept. And all the best to Phibian, and back to you, Nelly.
Thank you, Brunel. Again, the next speaker is here to remind us that growth is about evolving, about upgrading the older version of who we are into something stronger, wiser, and better. And here's the fun fact. This very speech that was crafted was in preparation for a speech contest. So, you're about to hear something special. And without further ado, I want to call on Phibian Joseph with his speech, Push the Update. Push the Update, Phibian Joseph.
Beep, beep, beep. Siri, what is happening? Error detected. Confidence offline. Self-esteem is failing. Beep, beep. System crashed. Yep, that was me. A human error message. I could remember holding that result slip in my shaking hands. The paper felt heavier than it should. The words were blurred like the pixels on a cracked screen. My stomach dropped. I could have barely breathed. I whispered, I'm a failure. Time to uninstall. But that crash didn't happen overnight. I had a PhD in procrastinating. And I would delay all my updates the way most people delayed their phone updates endlessly. And every time I said, do that tomorrow, it was me clicking, remind me later on my life. But here's the truth. Be honest with me, Toastmasters. How many of you have ever seen a prompt pop up and instead of clicking install me now, you pressed remind me later? I see a lot of guilty faces on this virtual call. So that means I am not alone. But that was just me. Avoiding the delay, the discomfort, the work, until my system crashed completely. And when my system finally crashed, I was out of options. And that's when my parents stepped in. They were my charger when my battery was dead. They said, Pips, we are sending you to school. I nodded. But deep inside, a storm raged. What if I failed again? Wasted their time? What if I am just broken? I carried that storm with me all the way to my new class. And in the first day of school, I felt every stare. A few kids whispered, oh, grandfather. I waved and smiled and said, I always wanted grandkids. But deep inside, Tim pressed me like a heavy lead. Night after night, I replayed my mistakes in my head. Maybe they are right about me. But a strong voice kept circulating. Just show up one more day, Fix. And slowly, the loaded bars began to move. An exam I expected to fail, I passed. And that paper was a spark in the dark. And maybe I can do this. And step by step, grade by grade, I upgraded. And that day, when I finally passed every subject, I knew that crash wasn't my ending. It was my prompt to install version 2.0. But here is the truth. That crash didn't just restart me, it remade me. And that is when I discovered Suji, the Japanese art where broken pottery isn't thrown away, but is it is being made and blended by gold. And those golden seams don't make the pot weaker, it makes it stronger, more beautiful, more valuable. Every failure, every sleepless night, every doubt, those were my cracks. But support, effort, and faith filled those cracks with gold. And every part of me that says I wasn't good became stronger and became the most striking part of me. And maybe that is true about you too. The breaks you are ashamed of might just become the gold lines of your next version. Toastmasters, we all face moments like this. Moments when fear says, stay down, and purpose whispers, stop, do it. Maybe yours is a school like me. Maybe it's a career you've been delaying, a relationship you need to heal, or a dream you've kept on pause. Nicole, what update have you been postponing? What version of you is waiting to be released? Don't keep clicking. Oops, remind me later. Don't uninstall. Push the update. Fix the bug. Charge your battery. Bling! 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 Siri, what's happening? Update completed. Confidence online. Purpose mode activated. Toastmaster video.
Thank you so much, Phibian. Beep, beep, beep. Hey, Nelly. Phibian is great. Beep, beep, beep. Hey, Nelly. That was he. Not a human error, but a human success. Not later, but just right now. Thank you so much, Phibian. So finally, we'll go on to our next speaker, Buhari Zayyad, and he will be evaluated by Aminata. Hi, Aminata. Tell us something about
Hello.
Buhari's project speech.
Thank you very much. Today, Toastmaster Buhari is working on the Visionary Communication Path, Level 5, Project 1. The purpose of this project is to develop a detailed vision for his personal life, professional life, or an organization. He must also present part of that vision in a 5 to 7 minute speech. He may decide to tell us how he built that vision, why it matters, or what benefit it can bring. He asked me to particularly focus on his mastery of speaking with clarity, persuasion, and confidence. I'll now ask all of you to join me in giving your full attention and positive vibes to Toastmaster Buhari as he inspires us to see what he sees. Back to you, Nelly.
Thank you so much, Aminata. So now presenting the man with the very contagious smile, Buhari. Up the ladder, Buhari Zayyad.
The results we see today were based on the decision we made yesterday. And the decisions we make today would be reflected in the decisions in the results we see in the future. Fellow Toastmasters and our esteemed guests, life is a journey, and every step we take moving up the ladder. Some steps are small, while some are steep, but each one matters because it brings us closer to the vision we hold for the future. When I look at Nigeria today, I imagine what it would mean for us to climb up the ladder in financial inclusion space. I see a future where every farmer, every entrepreneur, and every market woman can access finance with ease. A future where our financial system is resilient, strong enough to withstand shocks, yet flexible to serve all. That is my vision. In Nigeria, where finance is seamless, inclusive, and transformative. And my personal dream is to contribute to that vision by serving as the Central Bank of Nigeria governor within the next 15 years. Not because of the prestige of the office, but because of the impact office can have on millions of lives of Nigerians. But there is one truth. One does not wake up at the top of the ladder. You have to climb it step by step, bit by bit. For me, those steps include having a degree in economics from the university, currently having certifications in agricultural financing, Islamic microfinancing, and the pursuit of other professional banking certifications, which include being a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. My steps include learning from my mentors, like the serving managing director of Coronation Investment, a financial institution who embodies what it takes to be a central bank governor. Reading up and having mentorship from past central bank governors of what they have done to be where they were as a central bank governor and what made it a. Those steps are small, some are steep. They are the cardinal point of achieving that vision I see for myself. The steps also include my experience in both private banking and the central banking itself. They also include choices I make on a daily basis. Reading books, studying, growing, and preparing for what is about to come. It is true that we don't know what we have until we lose it. But it is also true we don't know what is waiting for us when we arise. Each of this is a step for me to go up the ladder. It prepares me for the responsibility I envision in the future. But my vision is not for me alone. It is for the entire Nigerians. And I know that I'm only able to make this achievement I work as a team. I collaborate with communities, and we work as a nation. And that is why the theme of today's meeting really resonates with me. Leading from the edge. To lead from the edge is not to go where others may hesitate. Climb the ladder means that the ground will have uncertainties, but yet I have to push through it to invite others to take me and push me to the next step. And so I challenge you today. I leave you with this challenge. What ladder are you climbing? What future are you preparing for? Because each of us have a future and vision we want to have and achieve. And that will be shaped by the decisions we make today. My ladder is a clear path to building a Nigeria where finance is seamless, where finance is resilient and inclusive. I climb not for myself, but for the impact I'm going to have for millions of Nigerians, to open doors for opportunities and access for them to have a better life. And I believe that together, if we dare to prepare, if we dare to lead, and if we keep climbing up the ladder, we and myself reach the future I envision for Nigeria's financial ecosystem. Thank you, and back to you, Master of the Day.
Thank you so much, Buhari. What a wonderful way to end our speech section by reminding us that the decisions we made today will reflect on our tomorrow. Life is a journey, and every step we take, we are moving up the ladder, and each visions we have will be shaped by the decisions we have made now. And so for that, I can see that we have a number of guests with us. You have heard great speeches. May I know how do you feel about it? And for those who haven't signed up the guest book yet, shortly in the chat, a link will be posted, and the link was already here. Thank you, Renan. So if you haven't filled out the guest book yet, go ahead, click that link, and we'd love to know a little more about you today. I'd like to invite the timer to post the timing report of the educational speaker as well as all the speakers of the meeting. Thank you so much, Arona. I did it coming. Thank you so much. I'd also like to invite the Zoom master to launch the poll for the best effort speaker. Oh, thank you so much. While we are answering the poll, I would like to call on our general evaluator. Our general evaluator is the president of the leadership speaks. He is what it is, and I really want to welcome our general evaluator, Holmes Tech. Holmes?
Thank you, TMOD, Nelly Jane. Evaluations. One of my favorite aspects of being a Toastmaster. This is because it is only through the eyes of another person that we know how effective we have been in communicating our point. And were there some things that we missed in the process of becoming a better communicator? Guests, you may have noticed we have a number of evaluators that have emphasized not just the project purposes, each of the speech has a purpose there through a project, but also on what the speaker has requested the evaluator to look out for. Behind this is that at Leadership Speak, as an advanced club, we don't think that projects are something that you just pull out and then you give a speech. You work with your evaluator, sometimes weeks in advance. Some go through even greater extent of having multiple practice sessions, giving feedback, and incorporating this feedback into what you see today. As general evaluator, I'll be conducting the evaluation section, calling upon all the evaluators one by one. This includes even for the evaluators for the toast and the TMOD. After each evaluation, I will also give a brief 1 minute, up to 1 minute evaluation, generally focusing on one point that I would like all members and guests to take note. It could be one point that I find outstanding, or one point that we can all learn collectively to improve ourselves. With that, I'd like to call upon the first evaluator, which is our evaluator for the toast, Sandra Vox, who believes that leading on the edge is like being a pioneer, pushing the envelope to see what is on the other side. Over to you, Sandra Vox.
Thank you, Holmes. Evaluating the toast is always a challenge, and thank you, Buhari, for having the broad shoulders to take me on. A toast is a social speech, and the purpose of having it here is to practice delivering a social speech. Conversational, and your cheers, it was all great. When we're looking at a toast, we want to look that it's clearly expressing why you're raising the glass, whether it's a celebration, an honor, an encouragement, or memory. And in this case, it's at Leadership Speak, the purpose of celebrating leadership and lifting up. And we want it to be personal and sincere. We don't want it just to be generic. In those areas, I believe that Buhari did very well. He was natural. He's a trailblazer like each of us. Very conversational. We gather today to gather and lead from the edge. So a nice natural toast opening that would be useful in a public situation as well. Where growth really begins, between hesitation and boldness. I really liked that line, between hesitation and boldness. Now your phrasing and your vocal passion came through. That carries the impact, but I want you to listen to your replay because the vocal variety is not transferred to your facial expression. Your facial expression throughout the entire toast was the same smile. So it's always a smile and welcoming, but you had opportunity for your facial expressions to really change. And other thing that I want you to watch for is your hands pumping the rhythm. When you're doing the gestures, I noticed that as your phrasing was going on, it was like you were keeping yourself in rhythm. And even though you stopped for the pause, when you started again, you had that rhythm. Watch for that. The backgrounds eat us up. And so your glass, when you're needing to lift it, needs to be up near your face. You can't be going this way because it comes in and out, in and out, in and out. So hold steady, lift your glass, make sure that it's showing, keep it there, and then you can say, raise your glass, but not wave it around. In summary, you stayed with the celebration of leadership, leading from the edge, beautifully. Whoops, I'm hitting my fingers here. And you did it with an inviting manner and a welcoming smile. Thank you. Back to you, Holmes.
Thank you, Sandra. Today we see that Sandra is an experienced Toastmaster, developed and gave a well-structured evaluation. She started off with a number of points praising specifically where Buhari has done well. When she gave improvements, she will give demonstration, like for example, the cup. And she ended off with a conclusion. A suggestion for Sandra is that because the evaluation itself is very full, perhaps numbering some of them would help tracking and would help Buhari as he takes down the notes. Oh, number 1, number 2, number 3, and he ensures that he doesn't miss out on any key points. Thank you so much, Sandra. I'd like to call upon the next evaluator, Gilda Slav. Gilda believes that leading on the edge creates personal growth. And this is because when she steps out of her comfort zone and challenges herself, especially when she doesn't see a light at the end of the tunnel and she feels she's getting out of breath, she expands and she grows. Over to you, Gilda.
We step out of our comfort zone.
Gilda, my apologies. Gilda, could you hold your microphone a bit closer to you? Your voice is a bit soft. The line is a bit soft.
How is this?
It's a little bit better. Let's continue with this for this point in time. Thank you so much, Gilda.
When we step out of our comfort zone, we may discover the ways that we never knew. And that's how our Toastmaster today, Nelly Jane, started her leading from pitch. And she did lead from edge and it's the Trailblazer in the preparation, meeting, and in facilitating it. In preparation, she started 2 weeks ago. Active with that purpose. Our is how she endures the word, the daily American theme, how she wrote that explanation and the meaning of it in a very motivating and inspiring. However, now this is your first time doing Toastmaster of the day. Really, remember, but yet, few hours, just there's 2 or 3 hours before the meeting, you reminded everybody that we are already our players ready to serve their groups. And that is in comfort zone and comfort culture for everyone there and facilitating. We greeted by the guests many times in a very nice but powerful communal facility. It's useful your normal way, the way you always speak. And you get that smile on your face, showing the confidence you have. You introduce everybody in a nice way, and you commented on the speakers after they spoke, what you take away. If there's anything that what Phibian said, I could never do that. We could do that much better. You ask me to see if I speak when you're talking. It's like you're late for your flight. Only when you were describing the theme of the day, it will use two pauses there, and then you will be okay. Capture eye contact. You made everybody comfortable. You led good. You facilitated that flow in an outstanding way. And I look forward to your next speech. Now, excellent speech. Thank you for delivering such a engaging Toastmaster video. Acting General Evaluator.
Thank you, Gilda. Guess as you may have heard from Gilda, Nelly Jane is doing the TMOD role for the very first time, and is one of our newer members. Hence, when Gilda was specifically chosen as TMOD, she understood implicitly that one of her key roles is to, as an experienced member, and as someone who has done TMOD a number of times, is to support and motivate the TMOD. In this aspect, I commend Gilda for a job well done. I would encourage Gilda if there were some aspects of Nelly's leadership as well as in communication style, because here we want to practice executive presence. Were there some areas of improvements that you can give to Nelly so that Nelly can become a better self-directed leader with stronger executive presence? Let her know. Thank you so much, Gilda. Our next evaluator is Muhammad Azamuddin. As a mechanical engineer and a seasoned Toastmaster since 2007, he believes that leading from the edge means walking ahead with confidence to inspire others to step boldly into the future.
There, debating in my head. Do I go in or do I go?
Thank you, Zoom Master. Over to you, Muhammad Azamuddin.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. This is a good opportunity once again I am getting to evaluate the leadership speak. And in this speech, I see a lot of things that I must evaluate in the sense that gives us a good attributes to be a leader. So Aswathi Rajan, she spoke today on the topic, and I say a lot of things in this speech. So first is that I was in myself thinking that whether she will speak professionally or speak as a profession. So speaking professionally means take care of the tone and manner in the speech, and speak as a professional means the development and creating the creativity, the authenticity, and the connectivity with the audience. So I say that in this speech, she has maintained both in a good proportion. She started with the question that are you scared of? And then she very quickly related this with the comfort zone. And then the speech goes on and on with some examples that how one can make progress if he or she comes out of the comfort zone. And then she explained the growth zone and 3 principles of her successful career and gave enough examples from her own life, own career as a teacher, as a scientist, and as a leader. And at the end, she gave a very good message that leaving a footprint means leading with a purpose and impact. So that every leader should give some footprints that carries the essence of the leadership. I see that the speech was very clear and it was completely crafted for the audience, and the audience are the self-directed leaders. And the message was well conveyed. The speech was well delivered. The tone and the word selection was very well in this. But what I understood that most of the part of the speech was very academic. It was not illustrative. So if a person like me wanted to see that, okay, just there should be some illustrations, that illustrations goes on in the mind of the audience and will create a very everlasting impact. And that I think that it is missing in this speech, like some illustration and a specific example of some common man. I have seen many leaders have given the Elon Musk's example. I was expecting that here there should be some illustrations or examples of a common man, how he will come out of the comfort zone and be successful. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Muhammad Azimuddin. Any evaluator of a level 5 project, including this project, learning to speak professionally, will face a challenge. There is an experienced speaker, in this case, a speech of a fair length of 18 to 22 minutes. Which points to focus on would be a challenge. In this case, Muhammad has shared with us in the first 30 seconds to a minute about some of the thoughts that he has in mind. A suggestion for Muhammad is that he could skip that portion and go straight into, there are a few things. What is your key takeaway? There are a few things that you felt helped you in getting the key takeaway, and there are some areas of improvements in which the general content you have it, but I'll recommend a slightly different focus in terms of timing so that your 3 minutes becomes more helpful to the speaker as well as audience to be able to learn from your observation of our educational speaker. Thank you, Muhammad. Our next evaluator is Paramjit Singh. He believes that leading from the edge keeps reminding him to come out of his comfort zone so that he can continue growing. I know that Paramjit is not feeling well today, so he is allowed to speak without his camera on. Over to you, Paramjit.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Lydiah Wanjiku. If one door closes, the other open up. Don't hang over there. Wait for the other door. Or even you help others to open the doors for them. Thank you very much for reminding us of inspiring speech, with inspiring speech that doors never stops coming to you. Opportunity never stops coming to us. So we just have to wait and look and find out the doors. Now, what are the best points of your speech? Number one, you had a wonderful opening, very good body, and then key takeaway as well as call of action. Now, in the very beginning, when you said open the door, as well as when you're talking about rays of sun, I think this particular project, it reflected that how you have worked on your vocal variety and gestures. You had a lot of points where you have vocal variety, particularly when you were saying difference. Do I enter? Do I not enter? Even though when you are switching on the door with the key, these are one of the points where you have shown a great gestures as well as vocal variety. Now, other points which actually this particular project on vocal variety, but there are a lot of other things which were really appreciable. Your confidence and your pauses, they were absolutely, the pauses were in such a way that they were really the required pauses, and we were able to understand your voice. You were clear. Your English was very clear. Now, for particularly vocal variety, you are already working on that side, but I think you need to even enhance this because these are 2 points which are really making people, the speech is engaging. You had, like, particularly when you said, it shook. I was in the jungle, I think you were in Mombasa. It shook. Your face was not showing an excitement over there. This will come with practice, but as soon as this speech, you can find out points where you can do it. And another one was, okay, your Zoom presence was fine, only the light on the face was a little less. Now, another thing which is very important, that you are already taken 2 paths, 2 levels on this engaging humor. I think you add humor also into your next speeches. I challenge you that you add humor into speeches. There was one I can say, like, if one door opens and the other door automatically opens, oh my goodness, my house is haunted. But you can say, no, it's not haunted, it's another opportunity. So add humor. Once this particular project, if you start engaging humor, your all speeches will come to the level, one of the best speeches. Please try your best to engage humor as well as vocal variety and gesture. Add more vocal variety as well as more gestures. Over to you, Jeev, Toastmaster Holmes.
Thank you so much, Paramjit. Members and guests, for Paramjit, I'd just like to make 2 commendations. The first is his attitude. He's actually having a high fever now. Nevertheless, he has chosen that based on his working relationships with Lydiah over the past 2 weeks, where he has given feedback a number of times, he's still here to continue supporting Lydiah. And I can vouch, as a witness of one of their practices, that Lydiah is improving, thanks to Paramjit's guidance. The second commendation, Paramjit today stresses that when we choose a pathway and then we choose a project, the whole process should be based on our personal learning goals. This also means when we deliver speeches, we not only should look at the project speeches, the speech purpose, but also how we can maximize our learning under the umbrella of the pathways, and in Lydiah's case, in engaging humor. Thank you so much, Paramjit. Our next evaluator is Nakati Mokhansu. Nakati is a general manager who believes that leading from the edge means lifting others as you rise, empowering the weaker, and building a winning team. And I believe this process that she's talking about, she is pushing herself to step out of her comfort zone so that she can have the greatest influence on others. Over to you, Nakati.
All my life, I tuned in to the people around me. It was a very powerful opening. Mr. General Evaluator, Sonia's speech has been empowering. She delivered with passion as she was sharing with us her former secret weapon, which became a public property from today. Thank you very much. Her speech was presented in a very clear and had a logical flow with smooth transition. She excelled, particularly when she was narrating how she used her curiosity to change the narrative. And she found, amongst other things, that she was narrating about a correct process where she drafted a 30-page process manual, which was ultimately approved by her supervisor. Congratulations, Sonja, for being a trailblazer in your organization and your desire and your passion, willingness to train others. As she was delivering her speech, you may have heard that her tone, her pace varied as she was delivering. She excelled on that. Her speech connected. She had this passion and connected with the audience. And she used emotions very well. I will remember this story for as long as I can remember. Therefore, you succeeded in your area where you said I should check. The recommendation, you may consider reducing your hand gestures when you're saying ambitiously. And there was a bit of an overuse of gestures. In summary, Sonja, you shared with us an authentic and heartfelt icebreaker. I now know more how you navigated your way up the ladder. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Nakati. The evaluation of icebreaker at an advanced club sometimes can be a little bit tricky. And the reason is that in the community club, we take this potentially as a brand new speaker, and our focus is on encouraging the member to continue speaking. When it comes to a club like Leadership Speak, every single one of the member has at least taken 3 levels. So if they are doing an icebreaker here, it means it is minimally the second pathway. Hence, the expectations goes higher. And in Sonja's case, I have challenged her in our club training to even deliver what she wants to brand herself as. With this as a context, Nakati has demonstrated that she is carefully listening to Sonja, and that's why she's able to cite multiple examples of what Sonja has did. A challenge to Nakati, who will connect, I believe, with Sonja, is that were there things that Sonja could have done aside from the gestures, aside from the hands, in terms of a content, in terms of how she has spoke, that may have convinced you deeper that Sonja is the expert that Nakati will look out for in Sonja's expertise. Nakati, I'd encourage you to do that and work with Sonja. Thank you so much. Our next evaluator is Meindl Kanti Ghosh. Meindl believes that leading from the edge means stepping beyond comfort zones, embracing uncertainty, and turning challenges into opportunities. Members and guests, if you're a true leader, Meindl believes, you don't just survive on the edge. You will inspire others to thrive there. Over to you, Meindl.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Holmes. Fellow Toastmasters, and especially Phibian. That was a world-class speech built around a brilliant central idea. You took us on an emotional journey, and your strength lies in the fusion of an ancient art with a modern problem. Let us few think you did fabulous. your fusion of the technical metaphor, the system crash that requires a software update, with the art of kintsugi, the pure gold. This is an incredibly creative and memorable concept that sets your speech apart. It elevates the discussion of failure from simple motivational cliches to the piece of art. Secondly, Phibian, your delivery was superb. You use your voice like a master conductor. The sound effects, the beep, 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 and the sudden drop in the volume to the vulnerable whisper, "Why am I a failure?" created powerful emotional contrast. You took us into the moment of disappear and out of moments of triumphs. The vocal dynamic is completely advantage. Let us few things you may practice to become your speech in the next level. This makes this speech for me contender for the World Championship. I offer two primary recommendations for you. One, of course, out of box because it's online, your Zoom presence, but most and important thing, strengthen the bridge. The transition from your personal crush to the discovery of kintsugi feels slightly quick because you have 7 minutes or even 7 minutes 30 seconds. Use it. Action. Dedicated an extra 30 seconds to an emotional process. The moment you decided to stop hiding the broken spaces and start seeking gold, show us the shift in mindset that leads you to the solution. Make that pivotal moment in a cinematic plot. Second, physicalize and contrast. Your voice has brilliant contrast. Your physical delivery need to match it, especially on a large stage. Think your delivery speech in the world stage. So you can do one thing. When you describe the system crash, you must adopt a closed, defeated physical stance. When you shift to the kintsugi solution, stand tall, open, and more confident. This strong visual contrast will cement the theme brokenness versus discovery in the judge's mind. Overall, the message you deliver is universal. The concept is original and absolutely appropriate for ISC contest, and delivery is magnetic. You have a champion caliber idea. Now simply deepen the emotional journey and the maximum physical contrast to truly shine your golden eyes. Back to you, our general evaluator, Holmes.
Thank you, Miro. Miro has shown us a structured speech, numbered with points. A suggestion that I have for Miro is that Phibian has chosen a project of speaking with a purpose. And he has also asked you whether he asked you to use that particular project evaluation or the international speech judge evaluation form. A key criteria is what is the audience takeaway? Hence, when dealing with such evaluations, I would strongly recommend Evaluator to start off. What did you get out of the speech? What do you think is the speech purpose? And then this would be helpful in showing your critical thinking of why something was well done, or why something should be done in a slightly different way, or what we call areas of improvement. Thank you so much, Miro. Our next evaluator who is evaluating the fourth speaker is Aminata Keita. Aminata is a leadership consultant who sees leading from the edge as being the first to taste a strange dish, a strange new dish. And she describes the experience like this: nervous but courageous, using humor to ease the moment, and guiding others safely through the unknown. Over to you, Aminata.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator Holmes. Toastmaster Buhari, well done. Your opening immediately captured my attention, especially when you said the results of today are based on the decisions of yesterday. That line set a thoughtful tone and made me eager to listen more. Congratulations. Buhari, your speech today was clear, confident, and inspiring. From the very beginning, your introduction set the right tone. You were calm, purposeful, and full of conviction. I liked your passion. Your pacing was just right, giving time to follow your thoughts and also reflecting on your message. I really appreciated your strong presence on the screen and the clarity of your vision. A sustainable financial system for Nigeria, my dear Nigeria. You didn't just share a personal dream of becoming governor of the central bank, but you made it about serving your people in Nigeria. You made it about your contribution to your own country's growth. That made your message powerful and meaningful and also relatable because everybody wants that situation for their own country. I also liked how you structured your idea because you gave the steps of your vision were laid out clearly, and you brought us back to your central message at the end as well. You kept recalling your vision so that we can actually see what you see. If I may suggest one area of improvement, it would be to use your notes a little less. You already have the confidence and the clarity. Freeing yourself from your notes will allow for even more connections with your audience and also some authenticity because you are so passionate about what you are saying. If you leave your notes aside, you will take us with you where you want to be. Did I see what you saw? Of course, I saw what you were saying. And now I'm also hopeful for Nigeria. Well done, Toastmaster Buhari. Congratulations. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Aminata. Each time you speak, you bring up the energy with your presence and your voice. A suggestion for this particular project, this is as a pair because you are both collaborating, is to consider how the first speech then relates to the second speech, because the first speech is about the vision, the second speech is about how this thing is going to be achieved. Whereas it seems like this first speech has touched on a little like that. For Aminata in particular, I would suggest considering in terms of when you see the vision, how about can you hear the vision? Can you smell the vision? Can you taste the vision from Buhari? And push Buhari so that you not only see the vision, but you can live and embody his vision when he speaks. Thank you so much, Aminata. With this, we have completed our series of evaluations. I noticed that the timer has already posted the timings report in the Zoom chat. Thank you so much, Arona. I'd like to call the Zoom master to launch the poll for the best evaluator, best effort evaluator. And in the meantime, as we are voting for the best effort evaluator, I would also give my general evaluation. Members and guests, the core purpose of Leadership Speak, you see it here. Every single one of our members have it. We are the premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. There are a few parts of this that I'd like to emphasize today for collective learning. Firstly, when we come here, when we deliver a speech, when we take on any roles, in a Zoom setting, which I acknowledge some of us may not be too familiar, we must exercise executive presence throughout the process. There are some technical parts, for example, how close or how far we should be standing. Should we be standing on a certain side all the time? This all have meaning. My suggestion to all members and guests is to keep your camera somewhere between your eye and your shoulder. And when you are delivering the key points, stand in the center, front facing the camera. Remember to smile when appropriate, but when you are delivering something sad, some silence, a change of voice, a change of the facial expression will be required. This is so that your message goes through the camera over to the screen and to the hearts and minds of those who are watching and listening to us. Point 1, executive presence, which includes communicating our emotions. Point 2, all our pathways and projects have a set of purpose, have a set of requirements. In a community club, often this may not be read in full, but in an advanced club, I would even ask not just the handbooks be read in full, but also to challenge the evaluator and the speaker. How are you going to use this in your life? How is this really going to help you? How is this connected to the pathways that you have chosen? And ultimately, how does this make you a better self-directed leader? Support each other, not just based on technical aspects of the speeches, but help the speaker connect with their greater goals in life. And in this process, fellow evaluators, all of you also become better motivators, better coaches, and better partners to grow together to be self-directed leaders. A third point that I make on a general basis, as of any community club, we do have people who may need to switch a role, who may need to drop out. For members and guests who are carefully scrutinizing our agenda, you would notice there's at least one role that was different from what we are facing today. At Leadership Speak, we don't call ourselves perfectionists. We don't deliver perfection. But what we aim for is high standards consistently. And we are outstanding in what we do. With this perspective, I like to thank all role players for their contributions, be it whether you are a speaker, your evaluator, your meeting support. And meeting support not just refers to the timer, the grammarian, and so on, but also all the people working behind the scenes, such as the role trainers. Thank you so much for all of your support. I, as President, SNGE, deeply appreciate all the efforts that you have put in for this and for every meeting to be successful. With that, I conclude my general evaluation. Nevertheless, I note that I missed out one thing. This is my bad. The grammarian and the grammarian report. Hannah, are you available for the grammarian report? Over to you.
Mr. General Evaluators, fellow Toastmasters, and the guests. Hey, what a wonderful session this has been. What regards the improper grammatical use, I have not noticed this from any self-directed leaders here in this meeting. All have used correct English. The word of the day, I have counted 12 times. Give everybody a big hand who used the word of the day. And I think Aswathi takes the winner. She used it 5 times. Thoughts or quotes that I have noticed that were used is, especially in Aswati's speech, there's 3 principles of edge leadership: courage, vulnerability, discomfort, and requesting us to choose one. And also for her to embrace, dare, grow, and empower. Leave your footprint. That matters. Thank you very much. Lydiah reminded us that there is always a door to be opened. If one closes, the other one opens. Sonja, who is on a mission until her goals are chasing her. Buhari, hey, he climbs the ladder as it is a clear path for his future of his bank. And today's decisions are based on yesterday's. Nzati, where you said Sonja's speech has been empowering, indeed, and Holmes, expectations go higher with leadership speak. You don't just survive on the edge and see and smell the vision from Buhari. Very well done. And Rinal, I think he takes the winner when he said, Phibian, you used your voice like a master conductor. Thank you for all your contributions, making this meeting fabulous. And I conclude with Aswati's words: embrace, dare, grow, and empower others. Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Hannah. With that, I'd like to end my general evaluation section and hand back over to the TMOD, Nelly Jane.
Okay, thank you so much to our president for managing the evaluation section with such clarity and grace. Every detail is very noted and truly appreciated. So now let's move on to our thought of the day. And in this moment, we will pause, breathe, and reflect. It's like a final sip of coffee that keeps the conversation going even after the meeting ends. And to share today's reflection, inspired by a powerful team leading from the edge, let us welcome someone who always knows us to spark inspiration and leave us thinking deeply. The virtual lectern is yours, Adriana Hurtuglu.
Leading from age. For me, these words are not just a term. They are a way of my life. And of course, most of you are leaders and you know it's our life. The edge is a place where comfort ends, what Ashani says. Leave the comfort zone, fear zone, and go to learning zone. And of course, share with your partners and also our members. Is there a fear which would stay where you are? No. is the courage to take another one step again and again. I have been there many times. When I chose to leave my finance and accounting job and become entrepreneur, I was leading from the edge. When my first business failed after more than 100,000 euro. And so what? That's again started from the edge. It was painful, yes, but it was a lesson. In Toastmasters, I felt it too. Each of the role, president, division director, district director, all the kind of roles. I feel sometimes it's too much or bigger than me, but I was always ready. Why? Because like Aswathi says, the courage, the vulnerability and discomfort. Yes, I challenge myself, and I'm sure all of you challenge yourself. Even when I was elected district director, after 2 days, I found my daughter, she has cancer. What? So, what should we do to grow again, to step up, and let's do it. John F. Kennedy says, leadership and learning are indispensable in each other. And on the edge, we learn the most. We learn resilience. We learn hope. We learn that fail, it's not the end. Getting up is. History is full of leaders who lives this true. Think of Martin Luther King, standing on the step of the Lincoln Memorial, speaking of the dream that seems impossible at that time. He was standing at the edge of the fear and hope, and he chose hope. His courage inspired a movement and changed the world. So, maybe just today or not tomorrow, but there is always an age, and the true leaders begin from here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adriana. Indeed, there is always an end, an edge, and success began on that one. Thank you so much for the beautiful reminder, and it's really a perfect way to tie everything together. So now, I really hope that everyone's ready because it's time to celebrate the stars of today's meeting, the ones who went above and beyond and truly lead from the edge. And for that, I request our PR master to post the best effort speaker. Our best effort speaker is congratulations to our best effort speaker, Toastmaster Aswathi Rajan. And to our best evaluator, Paramjit Singh. Congratulations to our best effort speaker, Toastmaster Aswathi, and to our best effort evaluator, Paramjit. Really, it's a huge congratulations to our awardees. Thank you for inspiring all of us today and for showing us what looks like leading in the edge. And of course, a big thank you to you, Renan, for managing the voting process. You're really the MVP behind the scenes. And just like that, our session today is coming to a close. But before we wrap up, I want to say thank you to all the members and guests, to our speakers, the evaluators, the role players, showing up, stepping up, leading from the edge with us today. Today, we didn't just talk about leadership, we lived it. We embrace discomfort, we challenge our limits, we remind ourselves that growth begins where comfort ends. And here at Leadership Speaks, we believe Leadership isn't about playing it safe. It's about stretching beyond the familiar, struggling bravely when you must, and soaring higher than you ever thought you could. And that's exactly what each of you showed today. So let's carry the same bold, trailblazing spirit with us into the coming weeks and, of course, in our next meeting. But don't go anywhere just yet, because it's time to hear our president to speak to the most important persons in our meeting, our guest. Back to you, President Holmes. Over to you.
Thank you so much, our TMOD, Nelly Jane. I'll start out with guests who have signed up in the guest book. Then I'll go on to some of the other guests, as well as our newer members who are playing roles. First of all, Karunisa Gajiani, are you available to speak? Karunisa? Sashini Stone.
She's probably away. She's always here, but she probably stepped away. That's fine.
Thanks, Nicole. Nelly Kimani.
Hello, hi, how are you? I'm a guest master. When I can make it, I usually attend the meeting, so I'm a guest master. And when I miss a meeting, I go back to the YouTube channel. Yeah. I always enjoy, especially the evaluations. That's my best part in the meeting. Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Nelly.
you.
Thank you so much. Nelly also mentioned that we do have a YouTube live stream, and all our meetings are recorded and be posted on YouTube. So to all members and guests, if you happen to be unable to make it for the main meeting, the YouTube is there for you. Let me see if there are other guests. Evelyn Krish, would you like to share some of your feedback for us?
Good morning, everyone. I came a little bit late today, so I did not see the whole meeting. I have my own club that I am the president of, so I definitely need to attend my meetings and support my members. But I dropped in afterwards, and I was able to listen to the evaluations. And I'm so impressed with your evaluations that you cover such a wide variety of things. And Holmes, as a general evaluator, I really did appreciate your comments about the different aspects of the evaluations I heard. So thank you. And gee, thank you for letting me know about your YouTube channel that I can listen to anytime. I would appreciate it maybe if you could drop it in the chat, and I would, this way I wouldn't have to search the internet. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. I'll get to that very shortly to share the link.
Well, one more thing there, if I may.
Go ahead, Rob.
Evelyn Krish, you have told us that you want to be a member, or you're looking for membership in Leadership Speak, Evelyn, because when you attended my events, you said that you had filled the form in, the feedback form, and said, contact me. So I've sent you a message yesterday on WhatsApp. Are you on WhatsApp? Right?
I probably did not see that.
Not a
I have a
problem.
WhatsApp.
Oh, you.
Probably
So
email is best.
please do look into WhatsApp, and if you are interested in membership, I did send you a message yesterday. All right?
Okay, so thank you.
I'll connect later. Okay, thank you very much. And Holmes, when you are done, I will like to announce this thing here after you're done the guests. Over to you, Holmes.
I'm done with the few guests. I was about to go into some of our newer members, but since you already flashed it's not really a secret. Why not you go ahead, Brown?
All right, thank you, Holmes. Ladies and gentlemen, As you know, we do evaluation training on a very regular basis. Though I haven't really done one in quite a while, the training that we normally do. We do our training every quarter normally. That is, of course, because we have new members coming in all the time and our club is growing bigger and bigger and bigger. So after quite a while, apologies for those who are newer members or people who have been members for a while but have forgotten what an advanced training is. Next week, October the 11th, at our club meeting, starts at 9:30 a.m. It's an advanced evaluation training session. The session will last for 45 minutes. Then we have only two speakers, but 5 evaluators for each speaker. So there'll be a total of 10 evaluators from the club who will be trained at the next level. They got some homework. The speakers and the evaluators, they're actually working on that homework. If you come on a Tuesday, it's only meant for members. If you come to the extraordinariness meeting, you will hear the training, a preliminary pre-training session with the people who are participating next week, Saturday. For those who are guests here, if you want to get the maximum benefit of what a Toastmasters Club does, an advanced Toastmasters, and critical thinking is very important in today's world. Doesn't matter whether you are in a community club or an advanced club. Critical thinking is something that will set you apart as a leader. Attend next week. And if you attend and you're in the Zoom room with us, you will get a handout, several handouts that will be only available for the meeting. Thank you so much. Over to you, Holmes.
Thank you, Bram. I highly encourage all members and guests to make time and attend this workshop live as much as you can. Through evaluations, you can build critical thinking, and you can also become a better speaker. Watch out for next week.
Absolutely.
All right. Before we end the meeting, I also like to listen to a few of our newer members. One of our latest members is Kanaf Huria. Kanaf, are you available to speak?
Hi, am.
Hello, Kanaf. How do you find the meeting? What's some of your takeaways today?
It was really great to listen to the meeting, and speeches were really good, and the evaluation was also really good. So technically, I find the speeches and the TMOD, the way of the TMOD and yours as well was really good. So I like those aspects really well. And technically, I am still not a member yet. So that I think 1 or 2 days I'll be.
Kanav, I think there's a technical glitch by Toastmasters International because of the 6 month, the September closing. They're taking a bit longer to put you on. Your membership transfer, it takes a bit longer, but don't worry. You can participate with us fully. We're just waiting for the technical thing to happen. So, right, you are in the orientation group already, right, and so on.
Yes.
Good.
Yes, Kanaf. Thank you, Bram. Kanaf, I also look forward to the things that you said are good, that you appreciate at what we do. In the following months, whenever you are ready, I also look forward to you performing these roles at the standards that you observed today. Thank you so much, Kanaf.
Thank you.
Like to hear a few comments from Nelly Jane. She is,
hello.
at least in my term as president, she's chosen as TMOD as with the least experience in the club. And Nelly, do you remember one of the first messages you sent me when I invited you to be TMOD?
Can I do that?
And then you answered yourself. You needed to do it if you want to grow.
Excellent job, actually, today.
What is your self-assessment of yourself? Your own assessment of yourself?
Own assessment of myself. I'm really technically at the edge. But challenge accepted, and I know I grow.
Excellent, Nelly. Together with Brahm and I believe all the members here, we affirm that you've done a good job and you have grown. Thank
And
you
you
so
know
much.
what?
Nelly.
To acknowledge Holmes, to acknowledge Nelly Jane as well. I think she's our youngest member. I'm just assuming. I think she looks the youngest, anyways. Maybe Holmes, you are younger. I don't know. But what I want to say really is that she actually has stepped forward to be part of the Legacy Leaders group. I mean, that's just amazing. Thank you so much, Nelly, for making sure that you are just brand new, almost brand new, right? But you're taking on and you're learning, and you want to make sure that you sort of learn the culture well, which is, of course, what Legacy Leaders Group is, and then passing on the culture. So thank you. I really appreciate that. Sorry, guys. Back to you guys. So.
Thank you, Brown, for bringing up the Legacy Leaders Group. To some of our newer members and guests, we are a big club. So we have various groups to manage different things. These are perks for members. Extraordinaries group for training and coaching for all members, and Legacy group for those who have declared their intention to make Leadership Speak their home club. They get special access to some of our leadership training materials designed by our master coach, Brahm Manon, which is also our founder and immediate past president. Another member I'd like to speak to briefly is Aline. Aline, how is your experience? What is your self-assessment as first-time Zoom master?
Yes, this is my first time to be Zoom master, and I realized this time I learned a lot. And thank you very much. People, many Toastmasters have a happy to do this role, and I enjoy, and I think I can learn more and to grow. Thank you very much. I feel very happy to be here with all of you because I have learned a lot.
Aswathi, congratulations, best speaker. Wow, that's so great. I think what you have to do is just polish up this presentation and make it more about Toastmasters. How in what areas can they really succeed? I mean, the whole presentation was great. Extend it by a few more minutes, and what areas can they really excel in, so that. I mean, you gave a few examples, of course, along the way. Your evaluator was off, but if you want a bit some more concrete examples for the global audience, and so on. And I really look forward to seeing you polish this up and then present it on a Tuesday at our training session first.
Thank you, Aline. Brahm may have forgotten to mute himself. Nevertheless, Aline, thank you so much. When we were doing some of our practices, I appreciate that you attended, you shared some of your challenges, and we practiced multiple times, and it allowed you to be very smooth today. If you're willing, I'm more than happy to invite you to be our Zoom master for one of our future meetings. Thank you so much, Aline.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you very much. Thank you very much, Paramjit. And I hope you get well soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aline. I'd like to also hear from Adriana. Adriana is no way a new Toastmasters. She shared earlier she's a former district director, but this is, in terms of leadership speak, the very first time she is thought of the day. Adriana, how do you feel?
Thank you so much. Now, after a few months, I finished my role. I feel great. Because after, in the time of when you are district director, it's so many things to do, and even I missed a lot of Toastmasters meeting, and so now I feel super nice to have time to be in the meetings, not just one. I have 4 or 5 clubs around the world, and also to keep training. So yeah, I love it. And never I give up of Toastmaster. Even some of part of my family say, "Oh, we hate Toastmaster." I say, "No, hate Toastmaster is in my blood. It's already, so I cannot give, never." So great atmosphere, and so it's good for me to learn and to be here because I want to grow, challenge myself, and also go outside from the zone comfort again.
Thank you so much, Adriana. Thank you for your vote of confidence for the club as well as for service as a thought. One more member that I'd like to speak to before I hand back to TMOD to is Aminata. Aminata is another experienced Toastmaster. I did not introduce her earlier, but aside from former district director, she was also regional advisor. And
Yeah.
before she made this evaluation, I was quite surprised, but I'm very appreciative. She messaged me and asked, were evaluations and are evaluations done differently here versus other clubs? Showing her sensitivity that different clubs have different ways of doing things. And Aminata, how do you feel about this club's evaluation style now that you've done one yourself?
I feel very good. I have a sense of learning a lot from this club. My challenge is I think it's my challenge and your challenge as well, all club members, push me and make sure that I make time to come to these club sessions, because for me, it's the highest level clubs I've ever been a member of. And from being a Toastmaster, high-ranked leader for a long time, you actually forget the basics of a club meeting. So people are always surprised. Well, she was a regional advisor. Why is she having a hard time playing this role? Because I don't play that anymore for a long time, So you are dealing with people, with team building. You do some other strategic things that you can do, but in a Toastmaster club setting, you feel lost. I'm always lost, and I'm always asking questions. If I ask you a question, my apologies, please. I will always ask questions, and you will be like, why is she asking these questions? Because you put me at a certain level. Don't put me there. Take me back again as a simple member. We are all learning together. So, yeah, Nicole, I can see you there. Ask her so many questions. Oh my God. So I'm learning again. Like, please congratulate me. I was first in my club's table topic contests. So please say congratulations to me. I'm so happy about that. Yeah, so I'm learning again. Can you imagine? I had never done such a
Amazing.
speech before. It was my first time because I didn't have the time to do it. Since I became area director, I started going up and up, and the rule says you cannot be a contestant. You know that? Yes. So I've been coaching champions. Myself, I've never done it. So you know what it means. Thank you very much, Holmes. It's always a pleasure. I want to spend more time. I want to deliver speeches as Bram is asking. So Bram, this is your own challenge, pushing me and making sure I become my best, right? Because of this
Absolutely.
club.
You know, Aminata here speaks like a true leader, a leader without status, being at service. That's how leaders at that level speak, and she spoke exactly like that. International presidents, when they come, they say that as well. When they come to our club, they say, "What role do you want me to play? I can do a timer, I can do an evaluator." That's what international presidents tell us, and you've said the same thing. Don't put me there. I'll start from here and learn. That's really coming from the heart and service. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bram, and thank you so much, Aminata. Echoing Aminata, this goes out to especially our educational committee, which is led by Nicole White, our VPE. To members and guests, we have training roles. We have trainers, coaches for every single role. And when we reach out to leaders such as Aminata, do remember, we are fellow self-directed leaders. helping each other to fine-tune ourselves in this club, find the best ways of doing things, and together grow as a common community. With that, I recognize my interaction session took a lot longer than I initially planned it for. I'd like to hand back to TMOD, Nelly Jane, to adjourn our meeting.
Hey, thank you so much, President Holmes. To all our members and to our guests, thank you so much for staying with us until the very end. Your energy and participation today really made this meeting truly special. To all the speakers, evaluators, role players, the trainers, hats off. My virtual hat to you. Your dedication and contribution really brought the theme leading from the edge to life. Together, we explore what it means to step beyond comfort, to embrace challenge, and discover the strength that lies outside the familiar. It's been an absolute pleasure serving as your Toastmaster of the day, and with that, I now declare this meeting officially adjourned. Zoom Master, you may now stop the recording and end the YouTube streaming. Thank you so much. Until we meet again, keep leading boldly, keep stretching past the edge, and keep being the trailblazer you are.